Related political spending in Ohio to a height never before seen.
In fact, numbers released today show that more money has been spent for political ads on Cleveland television than any other market in the country. News Channel 5's John Kosick joins us now. And John, that's really saying something.
It really is, Danita, especially when you consider we are the 18th largest market and we pass the Los Angeles television market, the second biggest in the country, for that honor. New figures released today by Wells Fargo Securities show that from the beginning of the year through July 8th, $20.5 million has been spent in political television advertising, both in Cleveland and in Los Angeles. The next closest market was Tampa at a distant $14.5 million. But when you factor in the amount the Washington Post says has been spent here in the last 2 weeks, $2.3 million to LA's none, Cleveland is now hands down #1 in on-air political spending. And as the president himself told me last week, high on the candidates' wish list.
Is there any state that is more important than Ohio right now?
You know, I think Ohio is one of a handful, maybe even 2 or 3 states, where, as you said, if we win here, we're likely to win. And I think what's important is, though, also Ohio's values and what's at stake for Ohio is representative of what's happening across the country.
And true to that bellwether status, if those ads then resonate here, they may have an impact in other key states. For that reason and the importance of the state as a whole, I expect the sheer volume of ads to lessen over the next 15 weeks.
In some ways, it's a little bit like World War I trench warfare. You have to keep lobbing the shells at the other side. They keep lobbing them at you. There are minor casualties when there's a slip of the tongue or one of the ads maybe gets a little bit of a harsh play. But otherwise, you don't want to let up your attacks because then the other side starts to dominate and they then start to define.
And define your opponent before your opponent can define themselves is now and has always been the objective. Now, Mitt Romney, who we've talked to about this in the past, he's kicking off today his first leg of his tour of Europe and Israel. On your side, John Kosick, News Channel 5.